This is Roger Clyde Webb, and welcome to this Carveco Friday night tutorial. I do plan to put out a new tutorial for Carveco every Friday night to greet you for the weekend. So what I'm about to show you can be done in any of the three Carveco programs, whether it be Carveco, the main program which I'm using here, Carveco Maker, or Carveco Maker Plus. So we're going to start off with opening a new model, and we're going to say the X is going to be 150 and the Y we're going to say 200, and we're going to have the orientation in the middle of our material, and we're going to take the resolution all the way up because we're going to do a 3D model. And as a matter of course, I always put the graphics resolution all the way up to the top because you want the best you can achieve. This is a fairly fast computer, so that's what I would recommend. So we're going to press, we're working in millimeters, so we're going to press OK. So there's our piece of work, and we're going to be doing this in the 3D window. To switch from 2D window to 3D window, it's just these two tags up here. So when I'm working with 3D reliefs or multiple 3D reliefs, I like to turn on the rulers so I can see exactly where I'm putting things. So to do that, you come up here to View, come down here and turn on rulers. So in today's tutorial, what we're going to do is put some multiple reliefs, and this is reliefs within Carveco. So we're going to open the relief library, and then we're going to scroll down. Actually, where we need to go to first, I want dishes. So we'll select dishes or bowls, and we're going to select this one and bring it over and bring it about in the middle there, pretty well bang in the middle. We can correct that if we wish, and let's zoom out a little bit. I'm just going to catch hold of the handles here and just roughly take it in, because you're doing what I would call art in this. You know, a near sort of half millimeter is fine, and like I just turned the rulers on just now too, and you can see exactly, you know, where you are. If you want to be more precise, you can put precise numbers in here, as in, you know, with zero, center it and what have you. But when you're working in wood and you're dealing with art, it's okay to be approximate, then we'll say, because wood is very forgiving. And that's about 10 millimeters down. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I just want a bit of a lip around this. So let's move this up. What I did there to move this in its entirety was just press down the left and right mouse key together, and you can bodily move it around the screen. And like I said, in the opening screen of this tutorial, what I'm doing you can do in all three programs of Carveco. So don't think you can only do this in Carveco, the main program. So I'm just about happy with that. And if I wanted to be precise, I could. just by doing this. But I like to get a bit of a visual first. So I'm going to say 130 millimeters, and I'm going to say 180 is fine. 0. This is the one I really need to alter, and that is, I need to come down to, I think, about 13 millimeters. We'll give that a try. But I'll show you in a minute that you can actually alter that even after you paste it down. So let's change this now to add. I want to add this into the material. Oh, just before I do, I will alter this. I'll be very precise and go 0 and 0, so it will appear right in the middle. And I'm going to say, and now I'm going to say paste. Okay, so there it is. Now, what I think I'm going to do now, we're going to, let's, for the moment, we'll just get rid of that. So we get a bit of a bigger screen. We can see what we're doing. And we're going to go to the isometric view. And we'll zoom in on that. It looks a little deep for what we want to do. So, now this is in Maker and also Maker Plus. So I'm going to resize that. And you can do this after you've pasted it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up because it's a bit too deep. And we're going to say, let's be more precise, and we're going to go 13 millimeters, and we're going to apply that. Okay, so we've applied that, roughly 13 millimeters. Like I say, we're dealing with wood, so it can be very forgiving. Okay, so there it is, exactly 13 millimeters. Now, I can have a look around, and you can see it's actually dished it in. And it's a dish with a flat bottom, an oval dish with a flat bottom, which is exactly what we need. So what I'm going to do now is choose top. So we're looking straight down on it. So zoom in a little. So we're going to go to our 3D library again, and this time we're going to choose something else. Objects, people. Have a look in reliefs. So chosen reliefs, and I can look through now the entire library, of which I believe there's still over 500 reliefs within any of the Carveco programs that is free with the program. And of course, even Carveco Maker, you can manipulate 3D reliefs and multiple 3D reliefs. You're not limited. You just cannot create a 3D relief. You need Maker Plus or this main Carveco program for that. So we're scrolling down. You can see there's many different reliefs that you can use. This is what I'm looking for. Nice young lady. So I'm going to put this bang in the middle there. I'm going to close that, and we're going to make her a little bigger. Now we know this is 180 millimeters in length. So what we're going to do is turn the lock on just for the height and the width, we're going to separately manipulate the depth. So what we're going to say is height. Now we know that this lip is approximately 12 millimeters till it goes down to the flat, because we've actually set it 13 millimeters deep, so that's going to ramp. It's going to take the whole 12-13 millimeters to ramp down to flat. However, it would be nice to have maybe the peaks of the shoulders, or one shoulder, sort of starting to come up the rise here, which would give more of an effect of the young lady being turned on, sideways slightly. I find that generally works. So if we say for the height that we're going to alter that to should we say 150, and the width will correspondingly come out, so we're going to apply that. Aha, there we go. And you see what I say about the shoulder's starting to come up the curve, and I think we'll just move it over very, very slightly, so her fringe part, her brow overhead there, just comes sort of just off. So we're going to catch out of that, and we're going to move it slightly like that. I believe I can do that, yes. A bit more maybe. There. And I just want the shoulder to start coming up that ramp there. I think it just gives a very good effect. And we're going to set it on add, because we're actually adding it onto the materials that's in the bottom of this 3D dish. I'm going to say paste, and there it is. Let's have a little look here. So what I'm doing to move this around in 3D space is I am actually holding down the scroll wheel, and I'm moving it around. So now I've taken my finger off it, and now I'm using the scroll wheel to scroll in. Okay, so you can see here that it's a little speckly. Now it's probably not going to machine in, but you'd be spending a lot of time machining this to find out, oh, well, we probably could have made that a little smoother. And there again, this tool here, Smooth Relief, is in all of the Carveco programs. So we're live going to manipulate this 3D relief, and we're going to just take it down 10%. I think that'll actually do it. Yeah, it's softened it a little. I don't want to soften it too much. I'll actually show you what happens if you soften it too much. You tend to lose some of the detail. Okay, now I want to keep the detail and the resolution then, so I'm only going to take out 10%. So I just knocked it back. So I'm going to apply that and close that. That is looking okay. So now what I want to do is I want to make this into a plaque, but what I want to do is I want to cut this out of the main body of material the same shape as this. So what I'm going to do is just get a circle, and we're going to be doing this in the 3D window. Come to the center, draw it out. Roughly, I'm going to go roughly 10 millimeters past, thereabouts. Like I say, we're dealing with wood here, we don't have to be that precise. And let's create. So then I'm going to go to Transform Tool, and then I'm going to alter the shape of this. So it conforms with the shape of the dish. Maybe come in a little bit further. It's roughly about 10, about a 10 millimeter border, thereabouts. Okay, now the reason I put that there is because I want to be able to cut this out at the very end process, because I want a hanging plaque that shape. Oh, incidentally, I'll show you something too, because I have seen people sort of say, oh, we've lost it off the picture. Like that. Now, if you lose your image and you scroll in and out and you can't find it, all you have to do is come up here and press top view, and it comes back. So okay, on to machining our 3D relief and then doing a 2.5D cut or a profile cut to machine this out of our piece of work. So you can get to the toolpaths several different areas. You can either come here or come up here, but today I think we'll use this area here and scroll down through, and we're going to choose 3D toolpath, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that in a line, and I'm going to open this up and say selected vector inwards. Alright, now if I had selected the outwards, it would want to machine out here. It wouldn't machine that 3D relief at all, it would just machine this flat area. So we're telling it inside the selected vector. So we're going to do a roughing cut first, and we will use a 8mm I think for this. It's we could go 10, really doesn't matter, but I find if you go a too large a tool, and depending on what you are actually machining, you can actually chip out some material that you really want left there to be able to, you know, run the finishing tool through. So we're going to now alter this to our machine. Step over. That's probably, I like to use about 3mm, and step down. I will say 2. Feed rate. I've got quite a small 6040 CNC router at the moment, so we're going to say 50mm, which is about 2 inches per second. But there again, when I go to my controller to run this, I can run it at any percentage, all the way down to 2% of whatever I set here if I wish. Now, plunge rate, I'm going to say probably 10 millimeters, because you know, that's a fair amount to ramp in. Oh yes, I'm going to use ramp in a minute. 15,000. Yep, that's fine. Tool number 1, raster. I think we'll do an offset on this one. Okay, I'd like to, because it's circular, I like to do an offset. Start inside, yes, outside. We'll start outside. So in other words, it's going to start cutting out here and work its way in. Okay, so cut direction. Probably climb milling. Although both directions wouldn't hurt. But I do normally use climb milling. We'll leave that where it is at the moment. Okay. We're going to have ramp moves, so it's this is set up as my normal setting. Plunge height 10 millimeters. Well, probably okay. So we're going to leave everything as it is. It's my normal settings. Safe Z. I normally have the safe Z about 10 millimeters. Now it's time to set up the material, and it's actually 18 millimeters in thickness, so we're going to press OK, and we're going to name this toolpath, so it's oh, I forgot what tool it was. It's an 8 millimeter. 8. Okay, so we're going to calculate. Okay, so that's what it will look like, something like that. So now to do the finishing pass. Again, finishing, and we are going to use a ball mill, and it's a tapered ball mill, 2 millimeter. That'll be fine enough, I think. I'm going to select that. So we're going to come into here and do our settings. Now I find I got a really good result with a 0.15. Takes a little longer, but it's a lot nicer, a lot better. Step down. I'll leave the step down. That's okay. 50 millimeters, fine. Plunge 12. That'll be okay. In this case, we're going to go to 20,000 RPM. It will only ramp in once into the middle, and then it will spiral its way out. So, although in this case I think it's going to start on the outside and spiral in. That's fine. Everything is fine. So we're going to name this as test cut 2, and it's a 2 millimeter ball mill. I'm going to press calculate. Okay, so actually what I have done, or what I did do, is I went and selected the whole relief. It didn't really like doing just on the inside of there, or the inside of the selected vector. So just deselect that. So I've done the whole relief and it's worked out fine. So what I'm going to do now is we'll do this simulation fast, otherwise it could take some time. So simulate. Okay, so there is the finished machining. That looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, if you wanted to alter the simulation material, and I got it set on bronze at the moment, but you could, if you wanted, you can set it on many different materials. And that's polished pewter. So I'm just running through a few of these. You may like them, but my favorite actually is all up here somewhere. Bronze. I do like bronze. So the next job is to save the toolpaths. Now within Carveco you can, it has many different codes to save. You can save it in Mach 3, whatever you really want to save it as, that suits your machine. Even Mach 4. We can scroll down here, and here's the Max, and but the code I normally use is G code millimeter tap. Suits all machines. So what we're going to do is, and these manipulating arrows, if you press a double arrow it'll take everything over. So this one first, I'm going to say this is I'm just going to abbreviate this as 8mm cut, and save. Bring it back over. Then this one, this is the 2mm T, and save. And it's as simple as that. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today, and don't forget you can do this exact same process in Carveco Maker, Maker Plus, and the main Carveco program. I'm Roger Clyde Webb, and thank you for joining me for this Carveco tutorial. I'm going to try and make it a regular event on a Friday night for you for the weekend. So thank you and bye for now.